Good evening and welcome to WriterGreg on Twitch.tv. Glad that you could all make it and grateful for all those who are joining live on Twitch.tv or watching later on video on demand or on YouTube.com. Glad that everyone could make it and looking forward to a fun evening of continuing to work on the WorldAnvil Summer Camp 2020, the different prompts, and tonight's emphasis is going to be a little bit different because of the work that we were doing in the previous streams, I've actually completed all 30 of my prompts that have been released so far. And now it is for us to wait until the 30th when we will receive the last 3 prompts and do a 48 hours or less, depending on which time zone you're in, of working really hard to get those last prompts finished. So until then, what we're going to do is we are going to edit the existing streams. The existing prompts, and working on improving the work that we've already done. And so this is going to be a little bit more relaxed of a stream. I don't plan on having any sprints to be working on tonight, but we will definitely have showcases for those who are interested in receiving a showcase and a critique tonight. And if anyone, I have removed the limit to how many critiques and showcases that we'll be doing for WorldAnvil articles, so feel free to go ahead, redeem those lemons in the chat and right over there, and we will get to it and be able to work on those and talk about those together. If you have other things you'd like to talk about, just place that in the chat and we'll have a good evening. Until then, until we have those redeemed, we will go ahead and work on our different articles. Before we begin, of course, I want to give a big shout out to the Anvilite Streamer Corps, who make this so much easier, and it's a great community to be able to meet other Twitch streamers who are working on WorldAnvil, world building, and writing, and those who are interested in similar streams. As always, they do have the Anvilite calendar that is here available, but also I do have my own Anvilite page, if anyone is interested, where you can see my information and you have some links, or you can find the links in the information below the stream. All right, so with no further ado, let's go ahead and jump into what we're going to be working on today. And of course, if anyone has any questions or would like to get into different chats, feel free. I will be working as much as I can, and I'm just going through here on my Trio or Trello, depending on your preference. I'm working on this to see what my next steps would be. And some people might think it might be a little bit of extra to require that I track everything that I have here. Just give me a second. It's extra warm here in the valley. So some people might think it is overkill or over planning to go through this process of capturing all of this information and tracking it in a project management board. And I would agree, for some it might be, but for me, where I don't really have a lot of time to jump in and figure out where I am, I just need to jump in and just try to go from where I am and try to find it and move quickly. So what I'm doing here in this dual screen setup is setting up 2 different I have on my left, I have the different boards or cards for each of the articles that I've written for summer camp, and I'm putting that information in a card so I can track it more easily as I improve each of the articles and move them towards a state that could be more easily and more enjoyably read by and understood by those who visit my camp. And so let's, for example, here, I made it down through the Secret Guardians. So let's talk about, okay, so let me put this one back here. And so here, this was the prompt, and the prompt, what I did here was the island chain of Motuahi. So I'm just taking this information, putting it down here, edit, and view, so that I have quick access when looking at that, and also easy access if I'm on my phone or not at a computer. I can just easily quickly click the links there. So this will give me there, and of course that needs to be replaced. And this is a location. I will change the labels for WorldAnvil Summer Camp 2020, and I have 2 additional labels that I have here. Whether this is more related to the fairy era, or the time that the fairies had magic on the world, or the modern era, which begins roughly a couple thousand, maybe 1,000, 1,500 years after the events of the Great Decimation. I'm not exactly sure. I really haven't laid that down. I'm still working on how much time it'll take for the world to recover from it, but we'll just see how it goes. So I'm going to put this in the fairy era, and then that one is ready to track the changes that I make on it. So that's what I'll be doing for the first part of the stream, is just getting information coordinated between WorldAnvil and my Trello cards. I gotta pick I need to pick a version here. Let's see, how do you pronounce Trello? You got it right with Trello. So is that Trello? You got it right with Trello. Okay, there we go. From Trello themselves. It is not Trio. It is, or Trello, it's Trello. Okay, I stand corrected, and I will do my best to not mess up that pronunciation again. Okay, so now, interesting, what happened to all of the information? Oh, I did put all the information down here below. Okay, I was kind of worried that the vignette was a little on the empty side. And let's just, all right, so let's go back. And let's see, this is the devastating events. And these cards, hey, Galadan, welcome. Glad to see you joining tonight. We are just doing some project management cleanup and editing tonight. So join in. We're not going to be doing any sprints because the sprints I'm done with the sprints, but feel free to ride along. And if you have any articles, I've removed the limits of how many articles that I will critique for the rest of the week until we have a new set of batches. So if you have stuff that you'd like to review together, feel free to redeem those lemon points and we'll go for it. And also, one thing that is kind of exciting is we have our emotes available. And so the Let's Write, the lemon hype, and the lemon raid. Sounds good. I'm sitting on 11,000 points anyway. Yeah, there's a lot of points out there, so feel free to redeem as many as you'd like, and we can work through those. And I'm just going to be working along here so we can work together. I have another icon similar to the Let's Write, where instead of a lemon holding a pencil, it's a lemon holding a bullhorn. I'm thinking that might be more nicely drawn than my current hype, but I'm not sure. We'll see what we can do. We'll do with that. All right. So, okay. So what I'm doing here is I am coordinating between Trello and WorldAnvil, the step process that I'm going to be going through. So I'm integrating that information back, because while WorldAnvil has many wonderful benefits, it just has draft and published, and I want to be able to break that down into more smaller steps in what I need to do to get an article move forward. What those steps are, not really sure. I have steps that I follow for my fiction writing, but as far as for articles, it might be just a different beast. So we'll go with a different beast. All right, so okay, so what we're doing, so for example, this is the world card for prompt 18. So let's take a look at prompt 18. All right, so but we'll just go here and take this and edit. Is there? The view is there. We'll copy the view link. And I'm doing the view both links so I can get to them more easily if I'm on my phone or another device. So you can do that. Okay, save that. This is a law. Okay, well, it's a law article. Not sure if I'll keep it as a law article. Yeah, not sure if I'll keep it a law article when I move it over to my world. I'm not sure what I'm going to do with the articles, because many of the people who are writing these articles are writing them and then putting them out and leaving them there. I may leave these as is, but when I write my true article on the topic or my authoritative article, I'll probably, I don't know, archive these articles and then move forward with it. And Songbird, welcome everyone for joining me tonight. We have Black Maggot, AJ, Dinosaur Bob, Kahuna the Elder, Aloha. Roll Society is hosting. Gambate, Fly Free Jailbird, and Siobhan, Aegon, Dazzlecat, DM Stretch. DM Stretch using the new Lemon Raid emote. There we go. That's cool. That's fun to see. And we do have quite a few. I'll throw a couple in there myself. Siobhan, thank you very much for the host. Do appreciate that. And yes, we do have yes, this all right, yep. Use those emotes. That is so fun to see them in there. And I do need to draw one more. I do have a slot thanks to the generosity of subscribers and subscription donations. I do have another slot to fill, and we'll figure that one out. Not quite sure yet. All right. What we are doing tonight is edits, primarily edits of the articles, because those of you who have joined with me before, you've seen how I would dictate for 5 minutes, crank out between 500 and 600 words, and then I would call that good, and so that the article would be done. Now is the time to organize. Hey, Songbird. Now is the time to get organized and get editing, because it is the second draft, or the 22nd draft, where we put our craft into place. Dog Mad Dog, thank you so much for the raid and the host. Welcome, everyone, and glad to see you all here. Yep, the lemon is being raided. All right, and yes, the Zog is still being. I just had to add Zog as an allowed term. So there you go, Mad Dog. Yep, see, Esongbird, you didn't get moderated that time. All right, there we go. Okay, so not to repeat myself, but I'm so happy to have everyone here tonight. I am using the Trello board. Squeeze that lemon. There's only one person. I got to be careful with that. Black Maggot, thank you so much for the follow. I do appreciate that. Yeah. There are many lemon puns, which I must refrain from using on a family-friendly stream. Thanks, Songbird. Okay, I got to tell you a story. My grandmother, my grandma Lemon, she grew up in the 1920s. Okay, the 1920s, the whole roaring 20s and 30s, and she was actually a college professor, a single lady who was a college professor, and she didn't get married till later in life to her husband, and she got kind of laughed at a little bit for intentionally marrying a man with the last name of Lemon, Lemon, just like the fruit. And she says, well, at least I'm marrying a lemon with my eyes open, unlike many people. And I'm going, go grandma. So it is just one of my favorite stories about my grandma. She was a wonderful person. Her husband, my grandpa, passed away before I was born, so most of my memories of my Lemon side of the family are from grandma, who was just a awesome person, very strong. Yes, it was a snappy comeback. And when you have a last name that is a fruit and also a favorite candy that can be purchased at your local movie theater, you need to grow up with a thick skin and snappy comebacks. All right. So what we're doing today is I am working on editing, but I'm also working on some project management. I want to be able to track my progress, because as I go along as a writer and as a father of many, many wonderful teenagers, I don't always have a lot of time to write. You know, Siobhan, I am grateful for my last name, because that will just guarantee that I will never be a used car salesman. I will, that's just a career that I just will never have. Yeah. And my father, he was during the Vietnam era, he was stationed, and it was Captain Lemon, and I forget the ranks of the other two, but it was Lemon, Orange, and Apple Bomb. And Apple Bomb is just apple tree. A bomb is a tree, and so it was. They wrote it into Ripley's Believe It or Not, and they got the three of them featured in one of those little comic strips on the Sunday newspapers, for those of you who remember Sunday Funnies, where they had the three officers, Lemon, Orange, and Applebaum. Yeah, it was interesting, and it was very interesting in the schoolyard, especially since I got my first pair of glasses at 18 months old. And so the four-eyed lemonhead, because children are wonderful people. And that's why I'm a writer. And for anyone who has a showcase, I did title this stream as Edits and Showcases. I have removed the limits to how many showcases we will do for WorldAnvil. So I'm just going to work along here, work on the edits. We can talk about my editing process. And so anyone and everyone who has something that they would like to have critiqued, go ahead and redeem those lemon points. Let's see, wherever your chat window is, go ahead and redeem those lemon points. Throw that link into the, and Siobhan is the first one. The witch in Hansel and Gretel had a right idea. Okay, Bob. Hansel and Gretel is one of the fairy tales I really, really want to adapt into my world, because I just think what's interesting is not the fairy tale itself, but what happened after the fairy tale. And telling the life of Hansel and Gretel, and for some reason I'm tied more to Gretel, because Hansel, he just sat there in the cage and got fat. I really think that Gretel had a more traumatic experience, and delving into how she recovered from this, in my world, Fae, would have traumatized her life. I think that would have been would be a lot more that would be a fascinating character study in a short story, with the PTSD, the trauma, the neglect and abuse, and seeing how what kind of character would she become or be because of that. Would it break her? Would it galvanize her? Because there's that saying, the same boiling water that softens a potato hardens the egg. So put in a hard situation, you can react differently, and it depends on what you're made of. And I would love to just write and figure out, what is Gretel made of? And I'm leaning towards egg, because that's just so much more inspirational. And you guys are awesome here. We already have a whole bunch of redemptions, so let's get into that as I do my own posture check. Okay, so let me grab the links. We have okay, Siobhan grabbed a link first. Come on. There we go. So I am going to just put this over there. Oops. Okay, and then we have E Songbird. Then we have Dinosaur Bob. Then we have AJ. Then we have Daz the Cat. That's not coming up as a link, but don't worry about that. Don't worry about it. I'll just copy it and see what happens when we paste it in here. Okay. See, let's take out that space. Will that fix it? Okay, the Order of the Argosy Knights. Okay, so Dazzle Cat, you let me know if I got the right one there. Oh, and everyone, just so you know, Anvilite Streamer Core, Click those links. It looks like we have nearly 24 hours of streaming ahead of us. And also, for those of you who are Anvilite Stream members, you can go in and you can create your own Streamer Core profile on the Anvilite Streamer Core, where you can put your own information here as well using the RPG character or heroes functionality. There's a great link on that. Shy Red Fox has information on that. Do I have Discord up on this computer? I do. So those of you who are Anvilite Streamer Core members, let me just throw that link in there. And that is how to create your ASC member profile. And you can then work with Shy Red Fox and others to be able to get your information up there as well. All right, let us get to the critique showcases. They are showcases. I got to remember that. Okay. Okay. Siobhan, this one's yours, right? I got the right one. Yes, okay. Sierra. The birth of Sierra. It's hard to put that accent there. Because with English, you just so much want to put it on the second syllable. Okay. Let's turn off the music. Blood moon, yes. And it looks like this is a blood moon that is setting in a ocean based on the ripples that we have there, down there. Okay. Long ago, back in the beginning of time, there was only Gautama. Then his little sister, Sierra, arrived in a blaze of glory. As she approached, she was grabbed by her brother and held by her mother, Coragenda. She was such a rebellious child and ran counter to Gautama. Okay. Dragon histories from a time long forgotten. Kiara was once a comet traveling across the sky until one day she happened to pass between Gautama and Coragenda, where she was caught and held in a contrary orbit. The resulting earthquakes and tidal shifts wreaked havoc on the surface of Coragenda, causing new mountain ranges to emerge. The ocean currents shifted, causing the dragons to search for a new, easily accessible source of food. During this time, the Fae emerged to populate the face of the planet. With Coragenda shaking and unstable, the dragons began searching for safer nesting areas. This was harder than they had thought possible because everywhere was shifting and changing. The weather pattern shifted, and the land was in constant change. This lasted for about 100 years. During this time, the Fae had established a homeland deep in the forests of Coragenda, where they began to flourish. What was once above water became submerged, and land rose from the depths of the sea. Mountains crumbled and rose. Land that had been desert became lush grasslands and dense forest. Manifestation. The sight of seeing Sierra coming into orbit of Coragenda was brilliant, as she was moving at high speed and glowing a brilliant red in the sky. As she passed between Gautama and Coragenda, she could be seen burning brightly even in the middle of the day. Over the next 10 years, the burning cooled to a simple, bright red glow. Nice. Okay, nice. I am going to forget any semblance of science because what you have described here is cool. And cool always beats science when we're talking about fantasy. This is cool. And at the initial read, it makes sense. I really like here how this was an orbit. Yeah, cool is cool. I like how you talked about it was a comet crossing through the sky, and how it was caught in a contrary orbit. Now, Guantanamo, and okay, so Corriagenda is the planet, but is Guantanamo, is that a moon, or is that a sun that the who's who is orbiting who? I guess is the question that I'm asking. Between Yeah, yes, it's another moon. Okay, even better. Um, y I didn't get where it said that, so maybe adding a clarification that Guantanamo was a moon. But I like how you're talking about how I do that. Yeah. um, if you can emphasize, I like how you have it being contrary orbits, how it really, really messed up the ecology, how it the ocean shifted, the mountain ranges emerged, the wrecking of havoc. Now, you are describing huge, huge changes. So you did say that it passed between the moon and Corriagenda, so that really would mess up the orbital pull. And hopefully, and I'm getting the impression that after 100 years, that it's finally stabilized. That so now you have two moons in opposite orbit, but at two different altitudes. The one question I would have is: Are there are they on the same plane? So if you looked at the Earth, your Earth, are the orbits like this, or are they skewed? What is the commonality of eclipses where uh, where Sierra would actually eclipse uh, Guantama, Guatama? And if they do eclipse, is it an actual true eclipse like we have here on Earth, or is it more like just the donut where it just passes in front and you don't really get a full eclipse? That would be an interesting thing, because if you had those kind of things, then you could have a lot of religious significance, holidays defining. Oh, a double solar eclipse. Yes. Yes, definitely that would, because that would, because these Fae, um, during this time, the Fae emerged to populate the face of the planet. Okay, you used the word emerged. You didn't use the word evolved or appeared or something like that. So where were hopefully there's an article talking about where the Fae were before, and and why at this time, what did they pick this time of extreme tumult and destruction and uncertainty? Why'd they pick that time to move out from underneath the ground? That would be an interesting thing. Did they see it now as a chance to get more freedom because the dragons were too distracted? Because I really like how um, you talked about how how the dragons had to find new sources of food. And does that mean fishing, or does that mean livestock or other things? And if you explain that, this is an article about the new comet, not that. The only thing, okay, I will get a little bit sciency here just for a minute. Comets are usually ice because the they travel through through the vast space without a source. So I'm not saying change your thing, because the idea of a blood red glowing moon that orbits contrary to the other moon is cool. But how? Why and how is it burning and able to maintain that? Whether that be magical or physical, if it's a dwarf star or it's a I mean, because if it was a dwarf star, that would really, really mess up, especially going between an existing orbit and stuff like that. But I would be interested to know on why is it burning, as opposed to being a big chunk of ice. Don't get rid of the burning. I think the burning is cool. Yeah, this is just flat out cool. You know, science be darned. But yeah, and there's just so much history and a conflict that could emanate from this, and the interpretations. It is a fan. My two moons eclipse at full moon every 5+ years. The night of the necromancer's eyes, white pupil surrounded by blood red. Ooh, sclera. The night of the necromancer's eye. See, that is a fun name to give the white stuff of the eye. Oh, that's what it's called? I just called it the white stuff. That is cool. Yeah, I like your name there, Dinosaur Bob. And it would be interesting if you want that as well. But this you're talking about the birth, specifically the birth of, and maybe the interesting the impact of its arrival, or the legacy of its arrival after the 100 years, after they've had a chance to think about it, develop a mythology around it. Maybe at that time, it's instead of the birth of Ciara, is the legacy of Ciara and all of that other stuff. You and I are going to need to talk, since Guantanamo is a bright white moon. Ooh, if that is a bright white moon, and depending on the size of your comet, it could do like red eye from a photo, or like rabbit eyes. Okay, cool. Awesome job there. All right, next. All right, E. Songbird. Uh-oh, empty bottle. If this is gone by the end of the night, that would be interesting. Amuriel alligators. Okay, Songbird, you're going to have to tell me how to pronounce this thing. Amuriel alligators. Please mind the alligator. Yeah. Yeah. Bringing authors together. This is awesome. The Black Farm. Okay, you got that doubled there. Unless this is supposed to be a header. And there's a typo in the BB code. The Black Farm is run by 3 gnome brothers, Snelvit, Pacmel, I am an Oxford, person. I don't care what. Oh, DM Stretch, I feel ya. Oh, that happens to me, especially on Sundays. Okay, yeah. I am a fan of the Oxford comma, and I have fun arguments with some of my coworkers about the Oxford comma. That's how much nerds we are. Okay, Belvarn Black. Together, they are considered the experts on alligator scale mail, The farm is divided into several sections: a hatchery, roaming grounds, feeding area, supply area, skinning tables, beloved Oxford comma, and tanning racks. The area is surrounded by a thick 5.5-foot metal fence, reinforced with security spells designed to both keep, you split your infinitive there, to keep both unwanted visitors out and prized goods inside. There are 12 female anil alligators and 4 male Amur alligators on Black Farm. Okay, when you say it's a thick 5.5-foot metal fence, is that me? Yes, Oxford comma for the win. Are you saying that this is... AJ, thank you so much for the subscription. Welcome to whatever we're going to call this thing. I'm thinking the orchard. Welcome to the orchard. That sound good? I like the whole lemon tree thing. All right, welcome. Thank you so much, AJ. Nile. Okay. I like the orchard. Yeah, lemon orchard. Or maybe the lemon basket cases. Amen. Basket cases. Yeah. Well, Fruit Basket is already an anime that my kids keep asking me to watch. So I don't want to get into potential IP, intellectual property issues. You have an orchard. I have a herd. I like it. Oh, Bob, you're using a herd? Okay. Orchard? It is. We'll have an orchard. Does this orchard, you have a jail? W.D. Michael, talking about traumatizing events of Hansel and Gretel. I have an army. We have an orchard. Loki, if Tony Stark said we had an orchard, unless that orchard was full of Ents, it wouldn't have been it wouldn't have been as impressive. I need something. I have a pride. Oh, Siobhan, a pride. Cool. A cell lock. Cool. Or a cell block. Well, Black Maggot, I'm not sure. Are you wanting to have stages of larva? I don't know how far you want to take that. I got nothing, only because my internet isn't good for streaming. But one day, technically a pride parade. Okay. Oh, okay, a pride. I was thinking Pride of Lions. I am your dealer of jails. Come check out my Yelp review. All right. So back to, okay, so honest question. A lot of streamers have Discord channels. And I've joined about 4 or 5 Discord channels because of the summer camp. Would you like to have an orchard Discord for this stream to talk more about things afterwards? Because I don't want to overwhelm people, and I'm willing to set up something, but we have WorldAnvil Discord, and I don't want to take away from that. We are part of all Discords, but we are all Anvilites. Okay, well, I may have to read up on how to set up Discords. I don't have one. I don't see the need for them myself. Most of my conversation is in WorldAnvil, and that just sounds cool. If you have one, I'll join, but I'm not sure how active I'll be. Yeah, and that's okay. It would be a way that we could communicate, because there's a lot of direct messaging you can do in Discord outside of servers. And Oh, yeah. DM Stretch, if there are some articles that I could read or something like that, uh, because of course I have mine because of what it is, but yeah, somewhat quiet. I'd want to support something like that. All right. Well, that's a project for another weekend. Oh, that's true, AJ. Easier to announce streams and other changes to times without drowning. Yeah, because I am planning on, as crazy as this seems, I'm planning on doubling my streaming next next week, and I'm going to have an early morning stream dedicated for writing sprints, and then save this evening stream for edits and showcases and or critiques of regular fiction, uh, or however it's going to be. I still have to figure out how to integrate my Discord, currently tightly tied to Patreon, with a wider community. I am a morning person, but I live in a house of night owls, and so that just makes me sleep deprived. And so I'm thinking of starting a stream between 5:30 and 7 a.m. Uh, Monday through Friday, where it would just be let's just come and sprint, and it mountain, 4:30 Pacific, 7:30 Eastern. Yeah, I'm in the mountain time zone. Uh, so that's what I'm thinking. Yeah, have fun, morning birds. Yeah, but see, that's it. I need to do it before the day job starts, and I'm currently training my puppy, who is not here, on to be able to sit in my office with me. But uh, yeah, so because I need to, I need to have a good habit to write, and if I am, oh yes, I have a puppy. Let me see. I I do I have a let me um find a picture. Photos. Noble and well recent goals. I have no puppy, but a very lonely pillow that I tried to bond with. Let's see, is this okay? That is my puppy. And his name is Coda, which means little bear. And for you fans of Disney's uh, Brother Bear, that's the name of the little bear. He is a Rottweiler, German Shepherd, Pit Bull, Labrador, Retriever. There's not a, it's 6 huge breeds all in one. And so he is he's a cute little mutt, but he definitely has the Rottweiler face and coloring. But yeah, that's uh he's not in the office right now, but he'll probably be joining me on my morning streams. Anyway, yes, there is a little bit of pit bull in him. Yeah. Yeah, he's a conglomeration of 6, and I keep mixing which ones. Maybe you'll get up. Well, and see, that's the thing. I'm doing it more for my own accountability, because we all have accountability partners. He is a pretty boy, and he is getting big. For his first 3 months, he doubled in size. a weigh-in at the thing. He went from 9 pounds to 18 pounds to 27 pounds. I mean, he's going to be a big dog, but he's my boy. All right. Um, I'm sorry, E Songbird. I'm blabbing, but the reason why I want to do an early morning stream, as much as I want it to help everyone out there, to have me as an accountability partner, I want to have everyone there, you all, to be an accountability partner to me. Because if I commit that every morning at 5:30 Mountain Time I'm going to be here writing, then I will be held accountable to you. And if you come, awesome. If you sprint with me, awesome. Yeah. Ooh, Dazzler Cat, that is a big dog. 7:39 your time. Yep. I'll be watching. Okay. Somebody is there? Yeah, and I don't, as thick as this stream is right now with all of this stuff, I don't know who else will be writing at that time, but there's, you know, we all have different styles. That's your morning porch coffee time. Well, get yourself a pad of paper and pencil and just go for it. Okay. All right. Okay, the Black Brothers. I wonder if I could take the spot after Kahuna. Well, see, that's interesting. I don't, I don't want to step on other people, but I do want to be able to stream when I can stream, and because of my commitments with my day job, commitments with family, and something like that, I stream when I can stream. And yes, AJ, after summer camp, there's definitely, I believe, there's going to be more open slots. But also, if you join, great. If you don't, great. There's the VOD. You can watch me at your leisure. Yeah, Siobhan, I think there are huge gaps. Let me shrink this down a little bit. Yeah, see, this is next week. See, I don't even have my time blocked off here. Isn't there a huge gap tonight? I don't know what time you are, Black Maggot, because right now, WD Michael isn't streaming tonight, and so Darth Nix starts at 4 a.m. GMT. I am scheduled till 9 o'clock my time, so there is about an hour gap. But we also have, yeah, okay, we have a D&D game happening in the middle time. So hey, if you're more interested in watching D&D, we have someone over there. If you're more interested in critiques and stuff like that, we got this here. But we can definitely talk a lot about this. But I want to make sure that we get critiques in, keeping those promises of all those who are wanting to have critiques. So, all right. So just back to the fence here, a thick 5.5 foot metal gate. That makes me think that it's 5.5 feet wide, and it doesn't tell me how tall that is. All right, Black Maggot, let me click that link. All right. All right. Belvern Black is the official owner and proprietor of Black Farm. Although he'd rather spend time shaping and crafting scale mail than dealing with bookkeeping, much to his brother Snellvitz's chagrin. Okay, that is a pretty long sentence, and one sentence, one idea. If you have bookmarked a schedule after using the time zone adjuster, you must realize that you will never get updates. Okay? I mean, with my article, I shared meets the 300 word limit, so I'm sure it needs work. Okay, well that's fine. My my articles that I submitted are all hot messes, grammatically and contextualized, and that's why I haven't been sharing them with anyone. Okay. Snellvit focuses on wrangling and managing the overall care of the alligator herds, but leaves the delicate task of forced mating to pack Mel. You have to keep going back to the original playing the time zone changes. Okay. Them ruby gators ain't bad. Make purty leather too. The problem is they get sick as all get out if something so much as sneezes in their direction. Nah, and eels ain't as pretty, but I don't have to worry about half the herd dying. Snellvit to his brother Belvarn Bach. Okay. Finished is better than perfect. Amen. What is it? Who said it? I don't know. No art is finished, only abandoned. Okay. Amur alligators are native to the Hool marshes and are known for their distinctive ruby-tinted scales. Ooh. They usually grow to be 10 to 12 feet long and burrow in shallow, muddy banks of the marshland. Nile alligators are native to the salty Azure Sea, but are able to survive in both salt and fresh water. They are known for their tough hide and powerful tail attacks. The Black brothers have crossbred these two breeds of alligators to create the Aemurile alligators. Each female Nile alligator will lay between 3 to 5 eggs in a clutch. Aemurile alligators take 18 months to reach full size. Unfortunately, this breed is sterile. Good science. That's good science, because usually if you crossbreed two species that are too different, the resulting offspring are sterile. Like donkeys and horses, their mule offspring are sterile. So good there. Requiring an active congregation of both Aemuger and Nile alligators. There's a 15% chance that a Aemural alligator is albino, a rarity coveted by nobles throughout Keeland. Just talked about that. Yay, sterile science. I have 5 kids. I don't know about sterile. Polishing comes later. Well, this is good because you have the red and you have the white. Are there regular green alligators? I mean, I don't know, but I mean, a red, white, and green would be a very Christmassy armor, I guess. Because of the thick hide of the Amurite alligator, it usually takes 3 animals to create a clean-looking complete set. The armor is known for its water resistance, suppleness, and durability. TTRPG, Amurile boots ignore marshland as difficult terrain. Oh, that's good. It takes an average of 3 months for Belvarn to make a complete set of scale mail armor. As Aemurile alligators are only bred at Black Farm, it's quite expensive and has a back order of 3 to 7 months. The Black brothers have been known to expedite orders for a hefty fee. Okay, that's nice little TTRPG note there. Okay, it's good that you have more females than males. I mean, I worked at a dairy, and we had 1 bull and like 200 cows. So, yeah. So I'm guessing that this is the prompt of the rare resource. So you're focusing on the rare resource mostly. I think that's really good. There is this could be the Black brothers could be some really fun NPC non-playable characters, ATM machines, NPC characters. They could be some fun NPCs, and if you got to know them well enough, you could know which one to go to get better deals and stuff like that. That would be interesting. Um, the ruby tinted scales. You could talk. Yeah, I really don't have a lot of critique about that. What this the males get sick about. That's why there's more of them. That's what I was hoping for. NPCs. Oh, okay. The males get sick a lot. Oh, that's what you were talking about. Um, so much as sneeze in their direction, half the herd dying. Okay, yeah, that's why you would need to have at least 4 of them. Um, we did talk about the sterile breeding, but you may need to have some males and females of both so that they can keep your breeding pairs active as well. Because if you're only crossbreeding and you're only producing the steriles, it is possible that your male and your female breeding pairs of the um, Amager and anile alligators, those could run out. And so you would need to have maybe a little bit of maintain a healthy congregation. Yeah. Yeah, you would need to do that. So you could probably, I don't know what percentage, but every once in a while they would need to have a purebred alligator born or 2, or depending on how many are in a clutch. Yeah. Fun. That is fun. Um, I didn't think of how you make armor. That is a good idea for an armor for a prompt. Okay, Dinosaur Bob. Superior firepower. Why do I always contract me cargo with the dwarves, you ask? Because I want it to get to where it's going. They're the best sea hands in the world, and it's been 200 years since a dwarf ship had a deal with a pirate. It's them slingshots they got. Can't be beat. End mere merchant conversation with a business associate. Hey, glad I was able to help. Is Dinosaur Bob still here? I hope so. Yeah, it wasn't too long ago that he posted. I like that the dwarves are seafaring, as opposed to their stereotypical miners. That oh, good. I do like that because it's different. It's unique. You don't expect to think of dwarves as seafarers. And so I think that breaking that expectation is kind of fun. The catapult has been an instrument of war on Carterion for a very long time. The chronicles of humankind record that Termari first rolled them out against the First Kingdom in the Freedom War 7,000 years ago, but that war ended. They were my counterculture. Oh, okay. Before that war ended, though, the men of the First Kingdom had captured and duplicated the device. As humans spread across Caterion, they brought catapults with them. From that point, even some orc tribes and others among the fell creatures have adopted their use with few, if any, changes to the technology. With the kingdom of humankind, warfare was common. Within the kingdom of humankind, warfare was common, and the catapult was a critical part of every major battle. Firing heavy stones, they were used alongside their larger cousins, the trebuchets, to reduce the walls of castles. Firing projectiles fashioned by the alchemists, they rained fire, or worse, down upon enemy formations and towns. In this sense, they can be said to have had an important impact upon the political shape of the world of Caterian over the years. The dwarves, with gnomish help, had actually developed the device even earlier. Some say that Termari obtained the technology from a gnome banished from the walking delve. For the dwarves, these were defensive weapons mostly, fired from secure mountainside positions against hordes assaulting their delves. Like the devices built and wielded by men and other races, the dwarven devices passed through the centuries unchanged, until 200 years ago. This was when the dwarves of Glitterhold developed a new, far more powerful catapult. Because of clan loyalties, and all dwarves everywhere on Caterian are from one of the 12 clans of the Awakened Ones, the secrets of this new device were delivered to all other dwarven delves and the seafarers of Cliffport as well. Okay. Yeah, long sentence. Discovery. No mention of the baby catapults, the Oengers. Good night, E-Songbird. See you at your stream tomorrow, if you have one. Discovery. Original catapult technology had been around on Caterian for thousands of years. For most of that time, every military or outlaw force employing them was armed with the same basic technology. Ropes made of hemp were bundled together and tightly twisted after inserting a stout wooden arm into the side of the bundle. This tight twisting stored up torsional. Dwarves do have ballistae, though. What's ballistae? I really should go to bed soon. Yes, DM Stretch, you should go to bed. You're going to bed 2 hours before my normal wake-up time. Holy cow. Squeaky chair. Torsional. Okay. Torsional energy, which was added by pulling back the firing arm for loading. No, you need sleep. When released, the firing arm swung forward quickly, hurling the contents of the bucket at the end of the arm. The usual material for the ropes is hemp or jute fiber. They have some stretch in them, which is where the torsion comes from, but not much. The biggest problem with these materials is that if they are tensioned too much or too often, the fibers begin to break. Once enough of the rope fails, the catapult is useless. Well, maybe torsional is the opposite of torque, because I think torque is a spinning motion, where torsional is a flat motion. I don't know. Turning. I am not a car guy. I push gas, it goes. That's about it. You apply torque to store torsional energy. Oh, okay. You apply torque. Okay. Like kind of like potential and kinetic energy are related. Torque twisting. Okay. The catapult fails. The basic change discovered 200 years ago by the dwarves of the Glitterhold involves weaving the torsion ropes out of cave spider silk instead of the traditional hemp fibers. The result is a stronger rope that can be tensioned even further. In catapult technology, more tension means more power, and more power means further throwing distance. The spider silk employed by the dwarves also solves the breakage problem. It is more durable. The dwarves discovered that so much more energy could be stored in the spider silk ropes that they needed to replace the typical wooden throwing arm with one of tempered steel. The stop bar that limits the arm's forward motion also needs to be steel instead of wood. Before making this change, their catapults were shattering when the throwing arm impacted the stop bar. Yeah. The torsional is twisting, torque is turning, as in axle. Is there a do you talk about the spiders at all, Dinosaur Bob? Because I know in this earth that spider's silk is so much stronger than and softer than silkworm silk. It's just that silkworms don't eat each other. So I'm wondering if you're looking for more stuff to expound upon, is how do they harvest the silk from the spider? Uh, I think that would be really interesting. A new advantage. The seafarers are using these latest improvements to once again reshape the way the world works. This time, though, by mastering the sea instead of the land. With new catapults mounted. No, not really, but eventually, yes. Okay. This time, though, by mastering the sea instead of the land. With new catapults mounted on their ships, the seafarers are able to fire upon enemy ships while still hundreds of yards out of range of the best weapons that others may be wielding. Hopefully, in prompts 31 through 33. I am really wondering what they're going to pull out next for these last prompts. The first human three core ships to discover this new dwarven advantage were educated when attacking a lone seafarer merchantman. Despite having fewer catapults than any one of the corsairs, the merchantmen sunk the three before the corsairs ever got within their own firing range. After very few additional incidents like this, the entire world of Cateria knew that attacking a seafarer ship was suicide. The seafarer privateers are also equipped with these superior weapons. Fortunately, there are very few of these, and they are easily bought off with gold and jewels because they have demonstrated that no number of escorting men of war will save a laden, non dwarven ship from plunder by the privateers. Um, I'm thinking of crossbows. Has this technology and the use of spider silk been implemented into crossbows, either the handheld size or the humanoid sized ones, or very large ones that could be used in a ship or other thing? Because okay, what does ballista mean? I don't know what that I don't know what ballista means. A giant. Oh, a giant crossbow. Yeah, a wagon-sized crossbow. Okay. Yeah, because it even though the dwarves invented the catapult first, the problem with the catapult is that the stone arcs and it has to be thrown, 45-degree angle depending on the skill or the tension or whatever of the. I would imagine that it would have to arch, whereas a ballista would not have to arch and thus be able to go farther and would be more aerodynamic. And you might be, and that could be a counter to technology to this, that eventually the um, yeah, you would be able to have better penetration than the um, with a ballista than you would have a stone. Okay, the dwarves use ballista too. The military force article covers this. Oh, okay. So then let's I'll try to remember that we're focusing only on the catapult here and not the ballista, which is described. Yeah, it did. You tried to, and that's where I got it. Yeah, Siobhan, it did. You did get modded with penetration. Really, ballista have a shorter range? Hmm, I didn't know that. I, you could fill books about what I don't know. They're called libraries. Oh, due to the trajectory. Shorter angle. Oh, so. Oh, okay. I'm wrong. Fair enough. Now ye be remembering, mate, if'n ye see a dwarf banner on a ship ye sight, ye call for us ter strike our colors and run. 'Tis the one time ye don't be waiting for me ter give the orders. We don't fight their dwarves 'cause we can't win against them. Again, thar blasted fire launchers. Wouldn't even get close enough to hit 'em. Nay, thar be others to plunder. Pirate Lord giving orders to his watch crew. Inventor Eldemira Libnip, a gnomish engineer, was credited with discovering that spider silk could be braided into ropes, and the ropes gathered and twisted for use in a catapult. She was almost killed when her first prototype fired for the first time. So much power was stored in the torsioned ropes that when the wooden throwing arm struck the stop bar, both pieces of timber exploded into a shower of splinters. Replacing them with steel members solved the problem. The secret of cave spider silk ropes is very carefully guarded by the dwarves. Ah, good. Okay. They have no intention of making more powerful siege engines available to other races who would use them for conquest. The dwarves have little interest in expanding their territories above ground and use their devices for defense. Since a delve has never fallen since the Great Strife, the secret of these powerful catapults have been kept. The secrets of these powerful catapults have been kept. The secrets have been okay. The seafarer captains, merchants, and privateers alike have taken an oath on their clan's honor to scuttle a ship before allowing a non-dwarf to capture one of the devices. Yeah, you'll see. I try to do accents. It's fun. There are many, especially among the pirate lords of Corsaveni, that would give much for the secret that makes the dwarven catapult so deadly. But to this day, the secrets have remained with the dwarves. Cool. That's good to know. Okay. I think okay, as you know, there are some longer sentences spread in throughout here, but I think we've talked a lot about the ballista. We and to any dwarf clan honor is paramount. Yes. Um, yeah. Yeah, this is good. Yeah, I don't I mean you talked a lot about, how it was developed, how it was improved upon, the problems that they went through. I really like how the inventor here, that sidebar, how she almost died because of it, and how the problem was solved. Yeah, really good, really good. Okay, AJ, I hope you're still around. I tend to blab, for which I'm sorry. Direct fire versus arc trajectory. Okay, AJ, let's do this. Heroes Day. Oh, I've read this one. All right, let's see how we do. On the 15th day in the month of Mauer, Heroes Day is a holiday to honor of adventuring is a holiday to honor of adventuring parties, past and present. I'd probably get rid of the word of. It's just to honor adventuring parties. Okay. Uh, Probably need a comma there. Um, for the achievements and sacrifices they made to keep the people of Voldaria safe. No, I'd keep. No, I do. Yeah, let's keep the sentences separately, but um, it like um, for the achievements and sacrifices they made to keep the people of Voldoria safe. This is an incomplete sentence because there's no subject. We'd need to know what is um, the honor is for, because this is a yeah. We just need to add a subject to that second sentence. Huge feasts of food and drink are had throughout the continent, though the type of food varies based on the region of the continent. Um, I I would probably get rid of the second on of the continent because personal preference is I try not to have the same word said twice within a sentence. Um, and we would know from common definitions, though the type of food varies based on region, we know that a region is traditionally smaller than a continent, so that we don't need to have this second uh, phrase here at the end to modify region. So I think yeah, okay. People offer some of the food and other various offerings to the god of Valor. Oh boy. Marek Haneth, whose name is based on this month, on this day, the god of Valor, Merikenneth. Okay. Okay. Mar is the month of Mar. Merikenneth is the god of Valor, Merikenneth. People offer some of the food and other various offerings to the god of Valor, Merikenneth. Period. I would, because this whole article is about the holiday, I don't think we need to say on this day as a repetitive piece of information. This idea here, whose name is based on this month, I would just make that its own sentence, maybe expand it a little bit to say the month of Mauer is named in honor of Merikenneth. And so, because when you put something in parentheses like that, DM Stretch, you should have gone to bed a while ago. All right, have a great night, and hopefully you can sleep in a little bit. Okay, so when you put something in parentheses, technically you should be able to skip over whatever is in the parentheses without losing meaning or context to the entire article. So I think the fact that the month of Mar is named after Merikenneth is a nice detail that shouldn't be glossed over. It should probably be in its own. It's being promoted from a parenthetical aside up to being its own sentence. Although the day is in honor of Merikenneth, the other gods do get something as well. Okay. The towns and cities in Voldaria also give offerings of drink, coin, and incense to statues of heroes that made a huge impact in each settlement. People also tell tales of heroes, honoring their memory by sharing their deeds of either strength, wit, or swiftness. Okay. Even though this day is focused, probably focused on feasting and remembering the Valorous. Okay, okay, we have the god of Valor. What's a Valorous? Is that a name of another word for pantheon? I might need a little to understand the word Valorous. I may need to have a little bit additional inline context of what that word means, like remembering the gods of Valorous, but then you would just say the gods of Valor. Valor, great courage in the face of danger, especially in. Okay. To the god of valor, not. Oh, I was mispronouncing it, thinking that. Okay, with capitalizing the word the god of valor up here, by capitalizing it, it makes it a proper name and makes it a concrete thing as opposed to a principle. So valor, unless you're talking like the medal of valor that is given to soldiers, that is a thing that it's a concrete thing. So I would lowercase god of lowercase valor. Yeah. And the valorous, since is if the valorous is not referring to a specific person or group of people, then I would also lowercase that so that we know we're talking about the concept of valor as opposed to a group of people. Okay. Oh, Barbarossa Sparklebeard. Thank you for redeeming that. Let me click that and put you in the queue. Remembering, yeah, okay, so that's making a lot more sense because I was mispronouncing that. Okay, even though the day is focused on it, need to figure out the better verb conjugation for focus. On feasting and remembering the valorous, it also entails competitive games and many stalls full of wandering vendors selling their wares of jewelry, toys, and small enchanted baubles. I would probably split this up a little bit, saying just get rid of even. This day is focused on feasting and also entails this in competitive games, period. Many wandering vendors take advantage of the large groups by, it's supposed to be focused. Yes, the day is focused on. Excellent. Yeah. Someday I'm just going to let you guys just rip my grammar to shreds. I'm looking forward to that day. In the capital of the Andrestrian Empire, they honor heroes by telling the tales through Colosseum games. In smaller towns, they do small games of archery, wrestling, or races around the outskirts of the area based off the legends these heroes accomplished. I just thought of this. You know how the marathon, the 26.2 miles, is named after that one Athenian who ran from Marathon to Athens, which was 26.2 miles, and we honor his feat by running a marathon. So is that kind of what you're going for here, AJ, as well? That each of these feats is named after... Okay, yes. Then that would be a cool way to expand this, because even though this is Heroes Day and maybe it's talking about food, it would be cool to know each of the events, the names of the events, describing the events, and then we would be able to know a little bit more about the history. And then you could say, well, we call this the marathon because of X, Y, and Z. Pretty much I am trying to have these smaller activities based on the Olympics. Excellent. Yeah. What then I would use this opportunity to the kind of competitions that you would use in your Olympics would reflect the people and what they value. Of course, without calling them Olympics, because the IOC would sue you into oblivion. Comparing the modern Olympics of today and the ancient Olympics is a reflection of our culture and what we value. Original Olympics, and I may be misremembering, but there were very, very few team sports in the original Olympics because it's all about the glory of a individual discus, shot put, dwarf toss. Exactly. Next up, we will be competing in the Gimli, and this is in commemoration of the time when Aragorn threw Gimli over to the other place, and you have to throw a 50-pound boulder. Oh, and the gnome kick. Oh no, we're not getting. But you see what I'm saying?
Gimli being thrown by Aragorn. Don't tell the dwarf. Don't tell the elf. He that could be commemorated if you could make up your own funny situation and you call it, instead of the shot put, you call it the Gimli or something like that. No kicking gnomes. We love gnomes. Unless they're garden gnomes, like Harry Potter. You can kick those. Those are pests. We don't kick sentient creatures. All right. Adventurers are offered a discount on food, drink, purchases, and lodgings for the day, as long as they show proof of their party being registered for their adventures band at the town hall. Okay. Feast based on region. Ah, good. Andestria Central, boar hair grapes, persimmons, wine leeks, celeriac, cauliflower, cabbage, and cheese. Fargana, Northwest, beef, lamb, potatoes, fish, crustaceans, cheese, ale, bread, cabbage. Okay. Babas, garlic, celery, scallions, fish, antelope, melons, beer, and bread. Good. I like that. Because even with this, hey, I got it right. Celeric? Is that what I got right? Don't call it Gimli. Tolkien family or whatever movie studio has the rights. Oh, yeah. Oh, Babas. Okay. In an old D&D campaign, there was a game created by a gnome where there are 3 teams, the ball being a team all of its own, the gnome ball. Yeah. There I tried to invent a game for an urban fantasy that I was writing, and that's hard. That game would never have worked out, and I gave up on that game. But yeah, yeah, don't call it the Gimli, of course. I said that tongue in cheek because that was the only thing I could really think of off the top of my head. Yeah, the Tolkien family will not appreciate that. Excellent. I love the additions. I like knowing more about the 3 capitals. I was playing the gnome at the You were playing the gnome at the time. The ball being a team. Then it's fun. Okay, so I do like how we get just some edits and expansions. Yes, very much so. I like that I'm getting an idea of the. Oh, Barbarossa, thank you so much for the follow. I do appreciate that. I like I can guess more about these regions based on the food that they have. Because to have melons, you need to be in the south. Antelope, that means it's either wide savanna plains if you're talking about African antelopes. Um, but where you have beef or lamb, those are usually those could be colder climates or any climates, but the fish tells me they're close to an ocean. And grapes, persimmons, wine, leeks, and boar and hare, tells me that there's a forest around. And so I really like how these different foods inform me about the regions that they come from. So I like that. Good job. Yes, I've already liked this. Yeah. So just some edits, expansions. You know, try the trick from reading from the bottom to the top, reading each sentence, making sure each one has a subject and a verb, and making sure that each of the phrases that attach to that don't separate them too much and cause confusion. But yeah, I like the changes. I do like the changes. Okay, next up we have Dazzlecat. We have the Order of the Argosy Knights. This sounds familiar. Nope, I haven't liked this yet. So, okay, the Order of the Argosy Knights. This is the rank one. Separating them with personal headers, but wasn't sure how. Oh, military order. If you're talking about the sidebar, I thought the sidebar was formatted well. Rank, Knight Errant. The lowest rank of fully trained Argosy knights, the title of Sir for male and Dame for female is placed before their given names. Knight Lieutenant, an Argosy knight in command of a quad of Knight Errants. Knight Captain, an Argosy who is no longer a knight errant, but a full knight in charge of a chapter hall. Knight Commander, the highest ranking Argosy who commands from Skylofton. Okay, I like how you have the Knight Lieutenant refers to the Knight Errants, and you do have the Knight Captain who is no longer an errant, but what's a chapter hall? And maybe you have the chapter hall referenced later on here below. But what exactly is that like? I don't know my military terms, so I apologize. But you have your patrol, your squadron, your platoon. You know, all of those. I'm messing those up. I know I am. But is a chapter hall like? Okay, it's a secondary headquarters. So is there, like, you call this a quad? I'm gonna leave. I'm not. I'm gonna leave this analysis until afterwards because maybe my questions will be answered by the main article. All right, Dazzlecat, what kind of a branch office? Yeah. What kind of accents do you want for this reading? What country are they from? No idea. Okay. Lion, good to see you. Senior wizard Urnid Coppercliff said to his favorite apprentice, who is now a first junior wizard inquisitor. Mr. Urnid, always a pleasure, Wyan replied with a cheerful smile. Let's move over here while the others are still arriving, Urnid suggested, and led the way to an unoccupied corner. You know why we've been assembled, Master Urnid? It was all rather rushed, and the servants are still setting things up. He needlessly pointed out the ladder as servants were dashing about readying tables and benches. There would be no time for proper clothes before the assembly of the Blue Quill Magi commenced. I was not informed, Urnid said bit tartly. At his rank, he should have been. Whatever the reason, it must be important. He suddenly stopped speaking as his jaw went slack and his eyes flew wide open. Wyan spun around to see what had startled Urnid. He sucked in a breath, then swallowed. His heart began to pound as he, too, stared at who had just entered the meeting hall. It was a knight wearing a polished blue steel breastplate over a set of chain and leather armor. A long sword was sheathed at his waist, and a helmet held neatly in the crook of his arm. But it was the down-pointing silver sword embroidered on a surcoat of blue silk that all the magi in the room stared at. Oh, gods, Wyan squeaked. Hush, Wyan, Urnid warned quietly. Don't draw his attention to us. Wyan nodded, but then suddenly felt weak in the knees as the knight turned their way. Okay. And narrowed his eyes as a moment before turning those cold, hard eyes to a group of magic nearby. Is that supposed to be magi? So as the night turned their way. Okay. Is the choice is the choice of using the there as a plural as a singular pronoun intentional? No! One of those magi suddenly cried out, "You will never take me!" He bolted to the servant's door, but it was too late. Another a knight appeared in the doorway, his long sword already drawn. It sliced through the shimmering ward spell the magi had hurriedly cast, gutting him in one slice of the blade. He fell screaming to the floor, uh, with a squishy thud that echoed above the silent and utterly still room, as not on other magi dared move. The end of a rogue magi. Okay. Good narrative, wonderful introduction, and it sets the awe that here a wizened magi, Master Urnid, is as explaining, and how he just is gobsmacked. Wonderful. And it's a good short story because you can. I mean, this is flash fiction, honestly, and I like it. Yeah, just the gutting him. The shimmering wards. Okay, it sliced through the shimmering ward spell. I'm not going to ask you to explain in the narrative because it doesn't need to be in the narrative how the sword was able to slice through a ward spell. That probably could just be a rule. It doesn't need to be expounded here, but maybe somewhere else it would, because again, cool is more important than correct. And this is cool. He fell screaming to the floor with a squishy thud. Okay, yeah, get rid of it. Okay, squishy thud that echoed about, or probably above, the silent and utterly still room, as not one other magi dared to move. Okay. Can a squishy thud echo? I don't know. Also, is the chamber big enough to have echoes within it? Because I think if a chamber is too small, there's not enough distance for sound to echo and reverberate back. But I don't know. I like the squishy thud. Or the squishy thud could echo in someone's ears or memory than actually audibly echoing. So you can keep that sentiment there, but the squishy thud, because I would think about that, but I do like squishy thud. Okay. The Order of Argosy Knights are warriors feared by all, but the giant kin and other such foolhardy races. They are sword masters capable of attacking through magic. Okay, there you go. Through magic as though it was not there, comma, as well as being unaffected by all but the most powerful spells. Okay, you're explaining it here. You're right. This is good. With their griffins that are companions as well as steeds, an Argosy can cut down a giant and a powerful magi in moments. Who are the Argosy? An Argosy knight can be of any civilized race. Retired Argosy run training arenas where they train youths in swordmanship, looking for students that have talent for the sword. I wouldn't have that comma there because it was like setting up a set of three, but I would just say and. They train youths in swordmanship and look for students that have talent for the sword. It is these talented students they recommend to be trained at Skylofton, the main keep of the order. The youths arriving at Skylofton are called pages. Each page is expected to be a servant within the keep, no matter how high their rank within their respective societies. No matter how high their ranks within their respective societies, they are issued oh yeah. What? Yeah, Bloom. I'll remember to refresh that. Um, no matter how. No, no, I would get rid of what? No matter how high their rank within their respective societies. I would get rid of the what. Um, Once a page has advanced to training with blunted metal swords, they are called a prospect. Okay, I like how we're going here. We're marching through the different ranks. This is good. Their servitude is no longer within the keep, but within the aeries and stables for the griffins. A prospect who advances to an edged metal sword is called a squire. Okay, I'm liking how the quality of sword is a symbol of advancement through the ranks. I like that. They are given also given a suit of chain. Okay, they are given just get rid of also given. They are given a suit of chain and leather armor and a young griffin. For the next 2 years, a squire will bond with and train the griffin until they are assigned a knight to a knight whom they will serve until the day they become knighted. An Argosy can be a squire for many years, as they must be a proven swords master first. Is sword master one word? And is there an S in there? I don't know. In a grand ceremony where the squire declares his oath to the order, the knight commander firmly taps his sword on the shoulder of the squire and dubs them a knight. The sword tap is called the last unanswered blow, and it represents the new knight's rise to the nobility by their own merit, no matter their family origins. I like that name, the unanswered blow, the last unanswered blow. That, I think, speaks volumes. There's a country song called I Want to Be Your Last First Kiss. I think that's the name of the song. And the last unanswered blow. This is the last time a sword touches me without someone getting messed up. I just like the implication of the name that you've given there. And I also like that they don't care about family origin. I love meritocracies. Yes, Black Magnet, it is. Maggot, it is. I like it. After the ceremony, the new knight is fitted with a blue steel breastplate and given a long sword of Viridin. The sword is ever sharp and lighter than a typical longsword. An Argosy can wield this sword as a lighter weapon. How much of a lighter weapon depends on the mastery of that particular Argosy. Okay, so this also depends on what their maybe they don't want a light weapon. Maybe they want a big old honking broadsword based on their training. Okay, but that may need to have some more clarification on that one. At midnight, the new knight is taken to a chamber deep within Skyloften and ordered to strip to the waist. A healer then cuts an incision over the heart, inserts a piece of polished amber encasing a scarab, then stitches the wound closed, all of which the new knight is expected to endure in silence. The new knight is then sent to bed. During the night, the amber melts away and the scarab crawls between the ribs to attach itself to the heart. From that time onward, the new knight is immune to all but the greatest of magics. That is... Yes, Black Maggot, that is metal stuff. Sorry. You're getting modded all over the place, Black Magnet. You're right, you can't say it. I have my mods really heavy. But that is metal. But what would you expect? These knights are awesome. But yeah, the scarab crawls and attaches itself to the heart. Ugh. Yeah. The Argosy, yeah, that is a cool detail. Scary, cool, and disgusting. Yeah. Argosy equipment. An Argosy who has become a swordmaster undergoes a ceremony where... Okay, is this in a repeat? An Argosy who's become a swordmaster undergoes a ceremony where a scarab in amber stone is inserted under the skin over the heart without any pain-numbing medicine. As this cut in the skin is stitched, the stone melts and the scarab crawls between the ribs to the heart where it attaches itself. From that time onward, the Argosy is immune to all the greatest of magics. I think it was said better in the previous paragraph. Harm does not always come from magic. Arrows, bolts, and ammunitions of many kinds can kill as well as a spell. An Argosy who has earned his or her spurs is awarded a breastplate of Veridun, which is lighter than crucible steel, but many times stronger, and is untouchable by magic. Oh, you're filling out the category thing? Yeah, okay. Got it. Weapons fighting is hazardous and wounds can end a career. An Argosy prospect who has attained the rank of squire is given a fine suit of leather and chainmail armor custom made to his or her body. Okay? There is only one weapon an Argosy is given, and that is a longsword made of Veridun. This sword is ever sharp and so well balanced that Argosy can wield it with the speed and agility of a smaller blade. How much of a smaller blade it can be handled like is limited to the level of mastery of the Argosy wielding it. Okay. Similar to some information previously given, but yeah. You can keep one or two. Okay, and this rank is similar to what you have up here. I would probably, this rank thing you have probably is for a reason. Okay, Barbarossa, you're right. Ugh. I think I should just dump the categories. That is true. It is kind of cameras. It is kind of hard to work with the categories, but just remember that the categories are there to provide inspiration and not determine. It doesn't need to determine what your article is like. Many people put everything up in the top section without the headers and then just add all of their own stuff, their own CSS stuff in there. I haven't been able to get to that point myself, but yeah. But for summer camp, for a first, second, or even fifth draft, it's okay. It's getting the information onto the page, getting that information out there. The fine-tuning, crafting, carving, polishing, that can come later. Very good. Oh, I got so much better of an idea of how cool these Argosy Knights are from this article than I did about the ones where they get their griffin. And so, yeah, that is pretty cool. Okay. Yeah, good job. Good job. All right. The wizard code. I'm going to refresh this. Yeah, okay, Black Maggot, this is yours. Okay, refresh again. Okay. It is 9 o'clock here. We're hitting the 2 hour mark. I will critique these two articles, but I do ask that we not have any more submissions tonight, and we'll save them for a future stream. A wizard code, also known as a glancing cipher, is a secret language that is used by several organizations, groups, and people within both Shahileth and Kabahet, which is widely used. While it is widely used, the codes mean different things to different people, are and customized for the different individuals who use them. Okay, this sentence needs to be tightened up a little bit. While widely used, the codes mean different things to different people. I just put a period there, and they are customized for the different individuals who use them. Yeah. Oh, come on, don't feel bad. This is the first time I submitted a story for publication, and it came back blood red, with ink and stuff like that. So do not. Masks are an overall common item. Okay, wait. Different. Okay. The core component that brings them all together is the utilization of masks or wizards. Wizard code. It's a joke, Rage. All good. Okay. Masks are an overall common item in Regesia. They are used during celebrations and are favored by royalty and nobles alike. The royal families are said to have masks passed down to them by the Choro and Prosta. While they do, in actuality, they do not find much use for them and are simply used as ornamental heirlooms. Okay. Common folk and groups have a more appropriate use for masks. They aren't so much used for disguises, though they certainly can be. Normally, these people use them to convey words or statements important to the groups they are in. Okay. I don't know if this is a style choice. Your mileage may vary. I think that we know that masks can be used for disguises. So stating that they aren't used for disguises is important because that's something different from the common definition of the word mask. Though they certainly can be. That's just a little bit maybe extra information. If you wanted to tighten the article down, I would probably get rid of that phrase because it really isn't adding to our understanding of how masks are unique to the people or the wizard, the people that are using them. Because this first one adds new information that helps us understand things better. This second one, not so much. And see here, these people use them to convey words or statements important to the groups they are in. That adds very important information, and it should be kept because of that. For, oh boy. Organizations and groups. For low for, heavens. All members of the forloper once, I'm sorry, once used the glancing cipher. Once used the glancing I've been talking for 2 hours. Okay, the glancing cipher. The masks were all of animals they were associated with. Okay, but as they didn't know that, they were chosen because they simply liked them. Okay, certain design. So that was okay. They're all animals they were associated with. They. Who's the they? The forloper of animals. I guess I'm not understand. Okay, yes, the for. Okay, um, because here you say you have that the militant group. I would probably replace the word they with the animals the militant group was associated with. That way, underline means future links that aren't made yet. Okay, that's fair. Um, I would that way if a person doesn't hover over that, they would still know that the forlope is a military group. But they didn't know that. They were chosen because they simply liked them. Okay. Certain designs were put on their mask indicating their rank within the organization. These designs were inspired by the intricate patterns used by the Faethethi within their architecture. Those with the highest ranking designs were Rasti Zafar, who wore the mask of a coyote, Igni, who wore the mask of a snake, Balgoros, who wore the mask of a bat, Tashan Shatu, who wore the mask of a beetle, Isian, who wore the mask of a boar. Okay, are these individuals or group? Okay, the snake, all right. Are these individuals or groups? Oh, individual. Oh, okay, individuals. Yeah. Okay. Good. Ayul's group. The masks used by Ayul Wasil's group are also indicative of their associated animals, except the one used by Ayul herself. These were specifically used for disguise, as they are all rebels against the imperial family. Great distinction that you have there, making sure people know that this group is intentionally using it for disguises. Great clarification. With allomancy, the ability to control and manipulate elements, okay, they would embed symbols into their masks to indicate certain dangers, intentions, or other words and signals without worry of it being permanent. Those with the most commonly seen masks include Aiul, who wore the mask of an owl-like scarecrow, Vidin Waun wears the mask of the raven, Rashar, who wears the mask of the wolf, Herer Asoten, who wears the mask of a panther, Farian Barkoven, who wears the mask of a shark. It is important to note that while masks were common and well liked, the ones with animal associations are not used by the Imperial Faethethi army. Good distinction. It's in the contrast, I think, that we find the best information for these kind of articles. Below are examples of vocabulary words and phrases used in the series. Even the gods cannot escape the truth. Okay. Keep in mind the metal and wood that make the design can be moved instantly. Metal and wood that make the designs can be moved instantly. There's there seems to be more information there that I'm not getting. Because you're emphasizing that it could be moved instantly. When I think of a mask, I don't think anything can move at all. Maybe I'm not thinking of the right kind of mask. Um, but you're saying that it can move instantly, which would imply that it could move slow. It might, under other circumstances, move slowly. But okay. Valdine, okay, squiggles, bloodlust is overtaking me, an X mark, leave without me, circle within a circle, I'm hungry, a single line within a circle, I'm not going back with you as a group, 2 lines in a half circle, I'm injured and the enemy is near, a circle, the enemy is near, a partial line split down, run, a large cross shape split up now, I'm not going back, leave without me, a circle with the red coil in the center, I'm going, okay, coils, return to headquarters, enemy is near, be on alert, follow Igni's command, round head, large circle and lines coming out the sides, retreat and recuperate. I mentioned they can control. That's right, you did mention that. So it's their ability to control can. Okay. So help me understand this a little bit better. Then they can change their designs instantly through their magics to change it to these different things. So that if they're okay, see, that's what I was missing when I was reading these different things. Yeah, that is cool. So you could have a visual yet silent language on their masks, and the metal would change to a mark X, leave without me, where they could say, then in response, the other person can say a single line within a circle, I'm not going back, or I'm not going without you. If that, they could have a little conversation with, okay, very good. Okay, now that I understand that, it was cool beforehand, but this is making a lot more sense now. Okay. Yeah. You may want to bring up more about that and who can change it. Yeah, with allomancy, they would imbue symbols that indicate certain things. I would talk a bit, who can do this allomancy? Is it everybody? Is it allomancy has its own article? Okay, it's perfect. Okay. I maybe a little thing that says for more information, click here or something. But yeah. Okay. This is getting okay. Red light district. Do you understand that the term red light district has a different connotation depending on depending? Words are not said inside the red light district of Shahileth. They are instead expressed through symbols, not designed as used above on a mask. There is a decent sized list of symbols that must be learned by customers before they decide to do business, both physical and enterprise, in the district. Okay. I'm sorry. Failure to obey the Do I really need to explain what a red light district is? I'm hoping not. Failure to obey what the symbols mean can result in removal by judicial soldiers at best. At worst, it can result in one losing their life. Okay. So words are not set, so no one can talk in this district, is what I'm interpreting from that. Every communication has to be done by symbols on the mask. Okay. Oh, so you think these masks are just for fashion? No one talks. Okay. Nah, listen, little tarantula. We wear these 'cause the boss says so. We use them to hide everything, our faces, our intentions, and that ugly mug of yours. Fun. Okay. Once I understood the magic behind the masks, I it just took it to that next level up. Very fun. Very fun. I love Igni. I hope I got a voice. I hope you like the voice. My little snake child. All right, Barbarossa. Hope you're still here. Brannock. Nice picture. Hey, Barbarossa, Sparklebeard. I'm glad you're still here, still sticking with us. Let's get into this. Brannock sat in the low hills for which it was named. In the low hills for which it was named. Nocken na Bran, the hills of Bran, nothing more than a scattering of houses on the foothills of the Bali Mountains. Brannock was a community of sheep herders. City folk would mock the idea of going to such a place so far east, in the borderlands of Dwarna, where such luxuries, such as electricity and rail, were so rare. Okay, this is not a complete sentence. It is just it. I don't know what it that, but what I do like about this is that it immediately sets up a contrast between the city folk and the people of Brannock, and also luxuries such as electricity and rail were there. I like that because we talk so much about fantasy. We talk so much about that usually electricity and railroads aren't in fantasy. And so I do like how you put that in there so it instantly tells us about the technology level of maybe not the people of Brannock, but also of the whole world. Brannock is a rural hamlet in the western region of Dwerna on the banks of the Illing River south of Old Ballystone and east of the Bali Mountains. Brannock is a well-known, though isolated community of sheep herders who farm and export wool. The wool is then taken to the nearby town of Tallybrook, where it is turned into textiles at the newly built mill. Despite its isolation, industry, you should lower, uh, unless industry is a specific thing, I would lowercase that. Industry has reached the small town of Brannock in the form of a new coal mine. Many of the young men and women have left their traditional lifestyle as shepherds to join the labor force of the mine, causing a steady decline in the once proud heritage of Brannock. Brannock, due to its rural nature, has a loose volunteer government. While there is a town council, it is made up of those who volunteer. They hold very little power and often meet only to discuss current local issues. I'd get rid of that comma there. Unless, because the issues that are some issues current and some issues local, if they're separate, if these two words are associated with the word issues. So if you're trying to have them current issues and local issues, or just current local issues, I if you want them to talk about current issues that aren't local, I'd put the word "and" in there. If they're only focused on local issues that happen to be current, I would remove the comma. Okay. While there is a burgher of the town, they are not elected and also merely a volunteer and serves alongside the council. I'd probably change "and" to "whom." Whom serves? No, who serves along the council. Okay, infrastructure. Much of Brannock is open fields for the many shepherds who roam with their sheep through the wide open hills and furrows of the hills of Brawn. Houses here are made of steely gray stone, with wooden roofs covered in slate shingles or thick thatch. All the roads are dirt, country back roads that dot the hills, and are as wide a cart with etchings where the wheels have worn away the earth. Okay, need to tighten that up. Dot the hills and are at, yeah, with etchings. I like the imagery. It was hard to get out. I'd probably rework that. Brannock sits in the midst of the great foothills of the Bally Mountains. There is very little flat land here, and the trees dot the hilltops and furrowing valleys that cover the landscape. It is a thinly populated region, with houses seemingly sitting far away from where the town would naturally seem, and great open ranges that stretch acres. Ah, man, I want to go there. Brannock was a peaceful place, nestled away in the foothills of mountains and away from the ever-evolving and changing worlds. Okay, one thing. The trees that dot the hilltops. This tells me that they are very low mountains that are not very high, because at a certain point of elevation, trees are no longer able to grow. So if it is intentional that these are small rolling mountains, perfect. But if these are more Teton, Yosemite, Rocky Mountain type mountains, then there wouldn't be trees on the top. I think you have it. I just wanted to bring out that little thing, but the vibe that I'm getting is that these are rolling hills, like you would see in the eastern United States, as opposed to the more giant, craggly mountains that you find out here in the West. Brannock was a peaceful place, nestled away in the foothills of mountains and away from the ever-evolving and changing world. Brannock was originally named Coron an Nabran and has existed for centuries in the foothills of the Bali Mountains. Its name comes from an ancient Dwyrnan king named Bran the Brash, who engaged in battle with ancient Grecians before being slain. These old records do not state where Bran was buried in a hill burrow east of Bali Mountains. Sounds like the foothills at the base of a larger mountain range. Those ranges grow more west of Brannock. These are rolling hills. Okay. Yeah. Okay. Cool. There's an extra comma here, I think, and you say no one knows where Bran was buried, but you said in a hill burrow east of the Bali Mountains. You could just say, though the old records do not say where Bran is buried, period, it is rumored it is in a hill burrow east of the Bali Mountains, or something. Local tradition says, popular belief is the old bartender tells the tale that his grandfather knew it was buried there, or something like that. No unnecessary comments from an old other. No worries. Hey, we are learning this together. Modern history. The Brannock Mining Company was created after Dwyrnan prospectors discovered large, precious, discovered large, previously undiscovered veins of coal and ore in the foothills. The creation of the mine was met with backlash from the older population of Brannock, who felt its presence would disrupt the local beauty and devastate the traditions of sheep herders. But the mine was allowed to be built as the nation needed coal to continue its growth. Fly. A cable railway was built which allowed full coal cars to bring up empty ones. A cable railway was built which allowed full coal cars to bring up empty ones from the nearby town of Tallybrook, where the full coal cars would enter into Tallybrook Freight Depot. Okay. Good information. I love how the older population were fearful, and correctly so. Hey, we have a mountain or two that exceeds the tree line in the east. I'm sorry. I'm sorry, Dinosaur Bob. I apologize that. Uh, yeah, you got my experiences of the East Coast includes 2 years of living in Florida, where the biggest mountain I saw was the overpass over the I-95. So, and I visited other places like DC and Boston. Not okay, not in the East where I am. Okay, you're right. I am not very well traveled in the Northeast, but yeah, I'm more traveled in the Southeast. So this cable railway, if you're talking about a pulley system, oh wait, no, that's Siobhan. Um, I would like this. This is a. It's one sentence, and you're still expressing multiple ideas. Bodgazilla, welcome. Yeah, I've never been to the Appalachians. Uh, I've just flown over them for business trips to DC and other places. So yeah, I've never been to the Appalachians. Um, I would split this sentence up a bit, where you would one idea per sentence. The cable railroad was built to bring up to, I don't know, your choice. I would just, this sentence needs to be, I would recommend that this sentence be broken up into smaller pieces. We're not making fun of East Coast mountains. It's just that I made the comment that I didn't know that mountains in the east could cross the tree line. That's all. See, I grew up in the Rocky Mountains out here in the West, and then I moved away, like I said, for a couple of years. And then when I moved back, they looked huge. I hadn't seen a mountain for 2 years. Okay, Sierra Nevadas, yeah. Going through Donner Pass, through Nevada, through Reno, yeah, those are huge mountains. And the Tetons in Yellowstone, yeah. But there are big mountains in the east as well. Beautiful picture here. Brown concrete house. I like it. Okay, back to the article. Oh, this is. I'm ready to turn. I'm turning into a pumpkin, people. That's hard for a lemon to do. This was a fun article. Um, mo- Most of my critiques here are grammatical. The content, the vibe, the feelings that I get here make me want to go to Brannock. I love this picture that you have here. It just, and you describe it very well. And I like the conflict that you have between the people, the old people. Yeah, no, yeah, it's not that hard to break me, especially after this late at night. I'm getting old, people. I do. Very well described, very well thought out. Yeah. So my comments here were just nitpicky grammatical things, but yes, very nice. And I do like that picture there as well. Brannock profile. Yeah. Okay. Very well. Can't be that old. You're right. I'm not. It's just I have teenagers who like to call me old. All right. Well, with that, thank you so much. Ooh, wrong direction. Thank you so much for joining me tonight. We're going to wrap this up. Let's see. Who's next? They don't have. Okay. I'm gonna need to. Let's see. Do I have anyone? Nobody. Does anyone know anyone that's online? Because we have Darth Nick starting in a half an hour. And they don't have a oh wait, there it is. Loaded Dice Adventures. Okay, let me type that in. LOADD Dice Adventures. Why? Oh, come on. Loaded Dice. All right, it looks like Loaded Dice Adventure is having a live D&D game right now. So if you're interested in joining in their activities, I will start the raid there. And remember, this week is all about edits. So come back with your articles. We will continue to have as many edits, as many articles as you want to have critiqued. We will work on those. When there's not an article to critique, I will go through mine and try to get them to as nice a quality as the stuff that is being shared with me. This is really good. Yes, these are fun articles. They're very inspiring, and I just need to get mine as nice as your guys's really are. So again, thank you so much. I will be back here tomorrow night, 6 p.m. Pacific, 9 p.m. Eastern for about 2 hours or so, and we will. Yeah, this is fun. So get out there and remember, those of you who are subscribers, we do have the Lemon Raid emote, or you can just type Lemon Raid in there. Let Loaded Dice Adventures know that you're coming because of their membership to the WorldAnvil Streamer Core. And good night and have many wonderful adventures. Thanks, everyone, and keep on writing. And I can't find my mouse. There we are. Good night, everyone.